How you doing, Danny? I'm doing good, you?
All right.
Requesting storage.
I'm first.
You know, people tend to, you know, and it's not without.
I thought, so I best in time, you know, there.
You shop? No, I thought about you yesterday, I'm calling to see where you going to, but I've never been to your church.
Yes.
See?
They're completely remodeled. So.
They can tell you down there.
Church.
Really good.
Yeah.
These, you know, nice. I mean, it's the same pastor, it's just comparable to.
Beautiful. You're definitely.
It's just, south of the main church. Right there, Stinger.
Not too finished over that. Andrea, are you there?
Here I am.
Go ahead and do your skills.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea with the Community Language Cooperative, and we're going to be practicing language justice today. Hola a todos, soy Andrea con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a practicar la justicia del lenguaje y tendremos interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español para que podamos comunicarnos en el idioma de nuestro corazón. Si tú estás viendo en este momento a través de YouTube esta reunión, vas a poder ver la reunión, la grabación de la reunión en español en algunos días en el futuro. Thank you, and we can start interpretation now.
Thank you. We're gonna go ahead and call the, there we go, meeting of the, I don't know what day it is. August 10th. Sheridan City Council, work session to order. Everyone is here except for Anthony, and he is camping. So when we get upstairs, we'll have to, excuse him. He called earlier today and said he was gonna stay out for a couple more days with his kiddo and his dog. That I included, so. Let's see, first up is the proposed budget revenues. I believe that's.
Thank you, Mayor. You have in your packet a memo here from Teresa. And Teresa is, there she is here online. I'm gonna ask Teresa to go over our revenue today. So as council remember, the way we present the budget every year is that we begin about this time of year and begin scheduling work sessions on the different sections of the budget. So one of the very first sections that we schedule for review is the general fund revenues, which would be tonight. We're going to, and then Christoph, to your question, where does the money come
That was us.
Okay, I think we're.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, is that you? Yeah, it's usually me, so I'm glad Reagan goes and ain't this kind.
I'm sorry. Where the money come from?
Yeah, your question about where does the money come from? Teresa and I are gonna help you answer that question.
Okay.
Okay, so Teresa, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So as Evan said, we always kind of start off with the general fund budget. The reason we kind of start off on that is that's really kind of the basis of, you know, for our general fund. This is what our revenues are coming in. This is going to determine what we can or cannot spend as we're going through the budget process. We also like to kind of present it first because then by the time we actually approve the budget, which will probably be the end of September or into October, we'll have another month or two of revenues so we can fine tune that projected budget and what we are going to propose. And sometimes we fluctuate those. Like with sales tax, I fluctuated it up because it's actually trending a little bit higher. And so when Deb and I met, we did a little happy dance, and then so that was good because I did not think that would be the case this year. So that's kind of why we start off. We start off kind of what's the differences between 2027 and the 2026 projected budget. And the two big ones are we had a large audit of an enforcement of taxes payment this year. So we always just budget like 15,000 every year. And then if we get it, great. If we don't, great. We'd rather people not have problems and be audited. So that's the big difference there. And then the marijuana excise tax, I did calculate the difference based on what's coming in this year. I projected that into next year at the 8%. I did also, you'll see, adjust the projected column for marijuana excise tax because we will get a couple of months of that 8% in 2026. So that's the two big differences from the 2026 projected. If we scoot on down, Devin, you'd mentioned going over. Do you want me to just go over some of the biggies? Are there certain ones that people would have questions on that I could address first?
Well, I'm wondering, some of them, absolutely the biggies, but then there's some of them that aren't really biggies, but you just look at them, it's not necessarily intuitive as to what does that really mean?
Right.
So I think that we can, we touch pretty much on all of them.
Okay.
But briefly.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
No problem. Property tax, sections. No, I'm just kidding. So, all right, our property tax for general fund, that is at 5.974 mils. That cannot change unless there is a vote. I am going to say something that I'm not completely sure is true, but I don't think we've had, I think this is the same rate we've had since the city became home rule. I do not think there has been a change to that. So that's why it's the 5.974. The property tax, I kept it the same for this year because I did kind of initial pull from the assessor's website and our assessed value is not looking like it's increasing. So I just kept that the same. So, and then the specific ownership, that is from Arapahoe County as well. And that's all the taxes, they give a portion of that then back to the cities. And so that's where you'll see that those two kind of tie together. The sales tax, the general sales tax line item, because we've been talking about sales tax, that's the 3.5% that's charged on all goods and services that are sold within the city limits of Sheridan. It is only, it does not include our urban renewal authority. So the River Point area and what we call the old neighborhood, the businesses around that, their sales tax goes to the SRA. So that is not included in this. So the audit and enforcement, we have, it's called Revenue Recovery Group, or RRG. I've worked with them. Wow. I think I started working with them in 2008. They do a really good job at going out and auditing companies for their sales tax, their use tax, any fees that the businesses assess, and then they charge a fee based on the number of hours that they needed to use to actually finish the audit. They are very efficient at it. I can say this because my career in government started out as a sales tax auditor. So I can tell you they're very good at what they do. And I also feel very confident in what they do because when they are done auditing, I do not have businesses ever appeal to the city for taxes that they're arguing about. So it's a nice way to make sure our businesses are remitting correctly. And also we'd rather have them remitting correctly. So I'd rather not have this audit income. So cruising along.
Real quick, Teresa, just for council's information, it's very difficult to budget for this because it ends up all over the place. You don't know how an audit's going to turn out until you do the audit. That's why we put a $15,000 placeholder in there. And you can see if you look back over the years, it jumps all over. 50,000 one year, over 350,000 the next year, 5,000 one year. It jumps all over the place, and it's just based on how those audits come out. So it's very, very difficult. We really budget a placeholder, and that's it.
Is it, they have an audit periodically?
There's an annual. So every year we work with Revenue Recovery Group to select a number of sales tax vendors in our area or that are servicing in our area for audits. and they get audited. They'll get, then Revenue Recovery Group runs the audit on those groups or those licensees.
Are they pretty thorough?
Oh, yeah, very thorough, very thorough. Yeah.
They just like.
And
You-
and the nice,
But we don't hit, small, we don't hit mom and pop. We're hitting big operators because it's not worth our time. It's not worth Revenue Recovery Group time to audit somebody that only submits $1,000 or $2,000 in sales tax here, right? We spend more on paying the auditors than you would ever get out of that. So it's really just very large generators. It's the Costco's, it's the Targets, it's other folks that do online sales in the city and have products with that. So it's very big, it's usually very large, big number licensees. Okay, sorry, Teresa.
no, and one more thing with this that I do like is they will go out, look, and if they don't find anything, it's called we call it a discovery memo. They send it back to us and say, listen, here's what we found, it's $100. And we're like, nope, thanks for doing it, so it's good for the businesses. They try to be in and out of there quick, they want to keep things moving. So I talked a lot about an item that's $15,000 in our budget. So continue on.
You just never know. That's why I wanted to kind of touch it. Yeah.
And I have scheduled some biggie audits that will be happening in the next year. So we'll see.
But the thing is, we don't budget on that. We don't expect that money. If it comes in, wonderful. If it doesn't, we're not basing our budget on those numbers.
Right. So the next line item is our PIF and STIF collection fees. And what that is the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency has an agreement with the city that they will collect the sales tax and the PIF for them so that they don't have to have a separate system or have anything like that. And so it's a 1% fee on all the revenues collected. So this goes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The PIF, public improvement fee.
Sorry. Yes.
That's okay. Yeah, so public improvement fee, it's a fee that's charged over in the River Point area.
And the reason they call it STIF is it's actually called sales tax increment financing. So yes, sorry.
Combination of two revenue sources, the PIF and the TIF. Okay.
And you see this when we do the SRA, you will see in their budget as an expense, PIF collection fee, and then down the debt services, the sales tax collection fee. So you'll see that these two definitely go together. So that's that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. So what a PIF and a TIF does, it helps finance and pay for the River Point shopping area. So those are fees that get charged. If you go there and buy something at Target, you're gonna pay some PIF on that public improvement fee to help pay for the public improvements that made that center possible.
It's on the bottom of your sales receipt.
You'll see it right on your receipt.
And on all the registers, you'll see a thing that actually gives you information about what a PIF is and how to run it. So something right on those.
Okay,
It's a target.
sorry to keep interrupting, Teresa.
I know. So the next line item is admissions tax. This is a 25-cent charge on, it's basically the movie theater is our main income for this one. So it's just 25 cents per ticket or per admission. Highway users tax, and I'm gonna have to look at my notes for this one.
Spider-Man, we'll be breaking it in. Sorry,
Well, that's okay.
we were talking about the admission fee tickets to Odyssey and Spider-Man this month. We should have a big month.
Yeah,
I know.
so.
So the highway users tax, so this is remitted from the state, and I'm gonna read what my notes said from a million years ago. It is proceeds for motor fuel excise taxes, vehicle licensing and registration fees on other vehicles, and it's received from the state of Colorado. And so we do get it from the state.
It's
That,
mostly gas tax.
Yeah.
It's the local municipality share of the gas tax. So the state collects a certain amount of tax and then they break out a percentage that they share back with locals. Percent that goes to counties and percent goes to state. And so, and then there's other things, some other registrations and things that all get rolled into there as well. But basically, it's transportation and gas tax money that comes from the state. It gets shared out on a formula. It's a percentage formula that gets shared out to.
so the next item, kind of the same thing. It's a fee that is charged on, this is actually on more cigarettes and tobacco, and it is remitted to the state, and then the state shares a portion with us. As you can see, it's going down because the vape products are more popular and they're not tobacco. So the way it was written, we can't assess that on those because it is tobacco driven. So that's why that continues to drop.
Really?
Sorry. I should not make this spreadsheet so big. So our next one is our CenturyLink occupation tax. I think this is an agreement and it's just 25,000. It's just a flat 25,000 that is
Yeah.
paid. Yes. Sorry. And then the Excel franchise tax is it says $1 for each linear foot of fiber optic cable. And I believe this is in our code that sets this up. And so that's how this is paid.
So here's a question. It comes out of my bill and it's paid back to the city, is that right?
Yes. 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 So the next line item, the Comcast TV
I'm
franchise
sorry,
tax.
Teresa. One sec, real quick. Just as an informational item, anything that's called a franchise fee or franchise tax.
That's where
What that is basically, we charge Excel or other utilities that use the public right of way. They have to pay the public for the use of the public right of way. So any of those buried lines they have running over there, or telephone lines or anything like that, that through a franchise fee, which is basically another name for just a contract that they have with the municipality, they have to pay for the use of that public right of way. And that's basically what that is.
So if we increase our costs and everyone around the state increase their costs, then Excel would increase their cost and it would still come back on my bill.
Potentially, yeah.
Base. That's how.
So by law, the franchises have the ability to pass it on. So that at the end kind of goes on them, but that's the law. It's interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting. So we're paying to pay my bill.
And then kind of get it back. Yeah, that's interesting.
And we're getting it back because they've run a cable to families. It's weird.
Okay, so I think that Teresa, that covers, why don't you go just skip down to use tax there?
All right, perfect. So the use tax, the first line item, the use tax on building permits. Our use tax is the same rate as the sales tax. They go hand in hand. The use tax on building permits, what that is when you come and pull a permit and you pull it for $100,000, at the city, we assume that a percentage of that is going to be materials and a percentage of that is labor. And so we assess the use tax, both the city and the county's use tax, on the percentage of materials. And the reason we have them pay that up front is so that we get it. And then what happens is contractors go out, then when they purchase materials, they take their building permit with them, and then they can purchase materials tax-free because they paid the tax to the city. And the reason they did that is that it keeps the money inside the city. You know, we might not have a Home Depot or a Lowe's or anything like that where things can go be purchased. So it's a way of keeping, you know, this is being used in the city limits. So that's how that is calculated. So you'll see that fluctuate as we have bigger projects that happen, how it'll go up and down, but we always kind of do a flat 125 in case there isn't any big projects coming up. The use tax on Arapahoe County, kind of the same thing. When you purchase your vehicle, if you purchase it somewhere else, you do not pay sales tax on it. When you go register it with the county, they collect that 3.5% because it wasn't sales tax, now use tax. They collect that 3.5% and then remit it to us monthly. So that's that's why it's called the Arapahoe County Vehicles Use Tax. And then the use tax, the regular use tax, what that is when businesses, what we call use or consume for things for their business. So when a business buys a computer, buys a printer, buys anything like that, because it's being used inside the city limits of Sheridan, it should have, either they should have paid the 3.5% sales tax on it, or if they don't, they need to remit that 3.5% as a use tax. The big contributors of this are kind of your bigger businesses, your Target, your Costco, your, that's your people. This, smaller businesses, and that's, a lot of online retailers are licensed with this, so they are collecting and remitting to us. So it's usually when people buy, they're buying 50 computers, they're buying, in bulk. And so that's where that comes into. And we always just kind of budget that at 125,000. The OPP.
Teresa, that doesn't count businesses that are like non-for-profit, right?
Right,
Like this,
right.
like big businesses like the school district or anything,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. Yeah. The next line item is our OPT tax, which is the occupational privilege tax. What that is if you are working in the city limits and the employee contributes $3 a month and the employer pays $3 a month for each employee and remits that. So that's where you see that. That's just paying to be here. That's kind of a fee that, hey, you're coming into our city using our services. So that's where the occupational privilege tax comes in. Marijuana talk, excise tax. I think we've talked about a lot. So
Example of an OPT. So.
So occupational privilege. So if you work inside the city limits of Sheridan, as an employee, you're going to see on your pay stub that every month that $3 was taken out, and the employer has to, out of their pocket, have a $3 match, and then they remit that. So this is all through, being an employee inside city limits. You will see the $3, and then the employer has to pay the matching $3.
Okay.
So marijuana excise tax, I think you guys know about that. So I'm gonna scoot on down. This
And I
next,
think Teresa, all like the business, all the licenses make pretty much sense, right? Guys,
yes,
I mean, I don't.
yes, yep.
It's straightforward what a liquor license, a marijuana license, so there are fees associated with all of those, and this is where we budget that annual fee revenue in the budget. So why don't we jump to intergovernmental?
Yes. County Road and Bridge. This is Arapahoe County assesses a mill levy, and then we get a portion of that. It's distributed 4 times a year. And so we receive a letter from them. They say how much they've assessed, and based on that, that's the money that we get there. The COVA scholarship, this is through the Victim Advocate. This is a scholarship that they can apply for when they go to their annual, I'm not going to say the right name, retreat seminar that is in the fall. I know it kind of didn't happen there during COVID. I think it didn't happen, and I'm not sure if it started back up, but we budget for it. If we get it, if the VA goes to the conference, great. If they don't, great. moving on down to charges for services. So this is court costs. This is just a flat fee that is assessed every time someone comes to court. They charge that. It's a $25 fee. The Nextel lease revenue, it's kind of the same thing. There's a lease with us. And then I believe it increases like by 4% annually. The motor vehicle fees, this actually, when we get our use tax on our vehicles, this is something the county collects during that time, and they remit that fee to us at the same time they remit that. So it's usually $2.50 each time. The pawn ticket fees, this is something where based on the number of, I'm going to say this wrong, so if anyone is better saying this to me, each pawn ticket slip, they get charged a fee for what the city has to do. Am I saying this right?
Kind of like an administrative fee?
Yeah, it's more or less an
Yes.
administrative reporting.
But it's because we have to do something, right? We have to check the tickets and make sure they're legit. Okay. Okay. So, and the next two line, the first line, PD fees, the police department assesses fees for different things. This also usually includes there's an E911. We usually get $25,000 from that, and that's included in there. And then the plan review fees, like Devin said, anything when there's any type of plan review, we have various fees that we charge that you see on our fee, our annual fee.
And that's with the idea that development, when it comes in, it pays for itself, right? So that as developers come in and submit plans, we have to review. They should pay for that time that our planners spend on reviewing that, because otherwise they shouldn't, our local taxpayers shouldn't subsidize that cost for them. So development should pay its way. So that's where those fees come in.
Scooting on down to our other revenue. So court fines, that's our fines that people pay for not doing the right thing. So we kind of budget that every year, kind of depending on how things are trending. The court surcharge is a 25% surcharge on all tickets. So that, again, same thing, it's going to be going up or down, how tickets are going up and down. The photo radar revenue and the red light camera revenue, this is both based on whether the photo radar that is out there, taking pictures and collecting money, and also the red light cameras that we have in town. Both of those revenues, we're just kind of basing that on what we're seeing has been happening. Insurance, reimbursement, miscellaneous, and interest. The big one in this is interest, but we do get some miscellaneous revenue coming in. And we also, if we have, wreck a vehicle, do anything like that, we get insurance reimbursements. That also goes in this category. The SRA expense reimbursement, again, you'll see this on when we're doing the SRA. So, the SRA pays to the city a fee for all of the services that they provide for them. So it's Devin as the executive director, Jenna as your city clerk, your community development, all the different ones. And you'll see it when we do the SRA, you'll see that broke out a little in more detail. And so I just increased that 3%, but you'll see that every month that the SRA is paying the city. And you'll see then it's a revenue on the city sides.
And most of that is based on a percentage of the salaries for the positions that are servicing the SRA. So it's percentage of the salary of the city manager, percentage of the salary of the city clerk, of the community development director that gets charged back to the SRA.
Does that make sense? The percentage piece, because that can be confusing. The percentage piece. So a percentage of the SRA part of that money goes to pay Devin and part goes to pay Jen.
So it's Devin and Jenna are not they get their salary of X amount. It's just that part of it is being funded.
The
Yes.
money comes
Yeah.
to the general.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I wish I did, but I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it, no.
But it covers what you do for.
Yeah.
It's based on it's based on a formula of how much time that
Is
the
generated
employees spend
by
on
them.
administering the SRA,
Yeah.
is what it is.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Cause that can be really confusing.
Okay,
What has contributed to, the photo radar camera revenue just looks like going down over the last 2 years? Is it just out there less time? I don't see it as much.
primarily, yes, we've had breakdowns where either the van is out of service or the other equipment has to be serviced and it could be down for a portion of time. And that's most of what you'll see when we have dips, is that it's been out of service, pretty much. Yeah. Chief, did you have anything else?
Yeah, the
Right?
year of 2020, when did we have Robo? That we had the van was down for like 3 months, so just got into everything, we couldn't get it out there.
Weather can play a role, different kind of features, things like that. So it's yeah,
The cameras were not getting the right pictures, so we couldn't send those out. We were making sure we had their shot of their face, so we worked with them to get that corrected. Got a new van, and that's why they're trending up slightly this year from the year previous.
Yeah.
So it looks like good revenue. There's plenty of people speeding, running around lights.
In school district zones, and I don't care, too bad for them. My opinion. Right? Go
okay.
down to the school district.
Let's wrap up, because I want to spend some time also on the next portion with community development and their biannual report. So really, I mean, the biggies that we have, public improvement fee, we kind of talked about that one and where that comes from. That comes from over with the generated through the River Point Shopping Center area, so that is shared back from the SRA to the city. And then on the last item of the one time, this is what the very bottom of it, this is where we put one time in grant revenue. So this is kind of all over the place and just trying to administer, which grants we know we're gonna get, we'll budget for them. Lots of times we don't know if we're gonna get a grant or not. So we try and keep track of this as best as we can. Probably some of the most consistent items and larger items is the letter of credit draw that we have in there. So we budget $200,000 every year for a letter of credit. We're banking again, if you guys remember, we always talk about it as very cheap insurance, right? So it adds a liquidity to our budget of around that $200,000. And I think it costs us, I can't remember what it costs us, but it's not very much. It's a few $1,000s.
It's less than 1,000.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. And it's really there as a very inexpensive insurance policy. That should we need some additional liquidity, it's there. We haven't tapped it in really, or necessarily needed it in that I can remember right now, but it's nice to know it's there if we do need it. And like I said, it's so cheap, it makes sense to just include that in. So I think that is the biggies right there. Any questions from council on revenues? So Teresa and I are always very conservative when we budget revenues. We would much rather budget. I'd much rather budget revenues down and be able to come back to you in the middle of next year and go, we've got a lot more money than we budgeted for, rather than saying, we don't have as much money as I budgeted. So we're always very conservative when we look at this. It is nice to have a little bit and anticipate a little bit of a bump over what we're projecting towards the end of this year. So that's good. It's in a very positive place for our budget, for our general fund revenues right now. It's very good. It's in a good spot. Teresa, do you have anything closing on this?
I think I have talked enough.
Okay, so that's revenues. Next session, I think we're doing capital. Is that right, Teresa? Capital improvement plan?
Capital and the other miscellaneous funds.
Okay.
CTF, open space, things like that, so,
All the special revenue funds, those kind of things. Those are fun. Those are a lot more fun to talk
yes,
about.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. And before we go, and just so you know, Teresa, I handed out to council. One of the pages from the management discussion on the 2025 audit. They just showed the little breakdown of the little graph that had the breakdown of revenues. So this is from, and it's just to give you an idea where our revenues come, you know, in a percentage basis. This is from the audit from last year, so it's not going to reflect necessarily this year or going into next year, but it gives you an idea. These categories are not going to change very much. So very roughly, you know, we get around 44 to 45% of our general fund revenue from sales and use taxes, which is the green section here. And then all the other pieces then fill out like that, just so this is just informational piece. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's go on. I'm gonna turn it over to Andrew and our community development department. Do you guys need to switch up here to the table, or how do you get when you do
I
it?
think we'll just kind of cycle up through the empty chair here, but we appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, you
to
right there?
do our mid-year update.
Okay.
I think Ari's gonna take us on.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through a couple of projects that we wanted to update council about, and then if you have any questions about those as we go through, please ask, and then at the end, if we have anything else we want to talk about.
All right, and you do have the memo in your packet, from Andrew and his that you can follow along. Why don't you guys come up here?
Good evening, council. Thanks for this opportunity to just present on what the department is doing. As you can see, there's a lot of current development going on, so land use cases that have been or will be in front of you. I've been in front of planning commissions, and I'm not going to spend any time talking about those, but Andrew's going to give you an update later. So I'm going to start on page 10 or page 4 of the memo. With the EPA Brownfields grant. So in 2022, the city worked with the city and county of Denver and the Urban Land Conservancy to apply for a EPA Brownfields Coalition grant, which was awarded. And over the last 4 years, we've been working with those two entities doing environmental testing around the city. It helped with the acquisition of Carroll's Corner Pub. You'll hear more about it this evening. And last year, the beginning of this year, we applied for our own Brownfields grant and were successfully awarded $500,000 to continue those efforts through the city. So this grant will do phase 1 and phase 2s throughout the city to help lower risk for potential developers. We'll also do some planning activities, so utility planning for areas of the city that do not have utilities, visioning workshops for the community and what they'd like to see in underused portions of the city. And as part of this, we are working with the EPA to get our cooperative agreement, which is a fancy way of saying intergovernmental agreement with the federal government. And we will have to complete 2 key projects, which staff has already identified as the Carroll's Corner Pub property to reissue the phase 1 and phase 2s. They have expiration dates. And then the Flying Saucer RV park for certain property that the city will be dedicated. So we will use federal dollars to accomplish both of those acquisitions. Currently, staff is working on the request for proposals for this opportunity for a contractor to come on board, a qualified environmental professional to complete this work for us. So we're hoping to have that done and the work started by end of year. And so in January, you'll hear more about it. So that was the first thing. And there's a great chart on there, grant applications and what the department is bringing in revenue. Probably not near standard budget. Oh, and I forgot my joke. Sorry, tough act to follow. Tax administrator to community development, really tough act to follow, just saying. I just like to be here on revenue day. Yeah, everyone's in a good mood. Next project I wanted to talk about was the Livable Centers set aside. I believe a few meetings ago, we had our consultant Matrix Design that was here to talk about the Sheridan Housing Implementation Plan. Just a brief update. you know, this is a project that will inform council and planning commission on decision-making for how to make housing more accessible to folks in our community. So currently sitting at approximately 60 survey responses. So if you're talking to your neighbors, I would say that's pretty good for the short period of time we've been doing this. Survey is going to be open till about October. So anytime you talk to a neighbor, just ask if they have filled out that survey. It's on the homepage of the website, very easy to find. Consultant last was at National Night Out last week. Had about 10 guests come up to their table and take the survey. The consultant will be at Planning Commission in September to present, and then at Sheridan Celebrates, and then council will see their final presentation in January after you're done approving budgets. And the last thing I wanted to touch on briefly is Bike to Work Day in Roots and Sheridan. And I owe you a Roots and Sheridan formal presentation. But I'm waiting on some really fancy products to show you that we procured with our funds this year. So Bike to Work Day, we had about 150 guests. We had a selfie station, hot breakfast. People are very excited about the trailhead. They're very excited about the construction project upcoming along Bear Creek. And then Roots and Sheridan. Yeah, we planted a bunch of trees. I think you all planted a bunch of trees this year. I got to plant my first tree and probably hang out with my first Gen Alpha ever, so that was kind of cool. Those people are funny.
How old are they?
Baby.
Like baby babies?
They were pretty young.
Like
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13?
wow.
Yeah, they were like young
They were
teenagers.
helping?
Yeah.
That's neat.
And so hopefully by end of summer, I'll have a more thorough Roots and Sheridan presentation, but that's basically what I have for you right now. Happy to answer any questions about what I talked about. If not, I'll pass it to Nathan and ask questions arise. At the end.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Thanks for having us here tonight. I'll start with the fun one. We've got Krispy Kreme coming to Sheridan. It'll be the third metro location for them, and they are doing construction work right now on the building. They have to put in a little bit more of the VMS system for what their configuration. They're rearranging some of the parking areas to add a double drive-through lane. So those are most of the changes, and the rest will just be painted. Vapor mitigation. So everything at River Point doesn't have a vapor mitigation system because it's landfill underneath. And so just to keep the gases from going in the buildings, they have to ventilate it out to the outside. Second, I have the South Metro Enterprise Zone and Federal Opportunity Zones. That was on page 6 of the 8-page aid for you guys. So those are two separate opportunity zones that Sheridan participates in. Well, one of them is the South Metro Enterprise Zone. That one is a 10-year program through the state that updates, that just updated last year. And it's Arapahoe County and the South Metro communities. So I think parts of Douglas County are now in that zone. They can have up to 115,000 population for each opportunity zone. So we were able to like get a few more areas in addition to what was already there. Englewood participates in that, and they were the old administrator for the last 10-year cycle, and now the Aurora Chamber of Commerce is taking that over. So any business that comes into Sheridan, basically the entire city is in this enterprise zone, except for I think Avon on the Platte. So when they come in to open a business here, they have access to these funds through the application to the state program. And they can do that for job training, for equipment upgrades, building upgrades, stuff like that. And so we just give them that information when they apply for a business license. The other one is the Federal Opportunity Zone 2.0. So this is another renewal of an old program. This is a competitive one. So the state can only select so many census tracts to give to the federal government that qualify. And they use similar qualifying factors like population, income, and things that make it an opportunity zone. So the state, we applied for 2 of our census tract portions in Sheridan to be in that program for the federal application. And Inglewood also selected one of the tracks that we share with them, so that it covers their Inglewood City Center. So we're hoping that by having the joint proposal for that census tract, that we'll at least get that one for the city. So that just kind of stacks. So anytime a business wants to apply for opportunity zone in Sheridan, they can stack their funds.
And Nathan, where is that one?
So those are gonna be at the north end of the city, so everything, I think, north of 285, and then portions of the Fort Logan neighborhood are in those two census tracts that we selected.
That way.
Yeah,
Kind
north, north
That
and
way and
west.
that way.
Yeah. And those were, I think if you're familiar with the EJ environmental justice program that the federal government used to have, a lot of those designations are very similar to what's going into the new opportunity zone program, but they're just named differently now. And then moving on to the South Santa Fe planning and environmental linkages. This has been going on now with CDOT for about 4 years since the study was completed, and we are approaching an FOR for the 2 projects in Sheridan, which is that is a final office review on the designs. So they're getting really close to sending it out for bid for construction, and that includes a sidewalk connection to Inglewood City Center across Santa Fe on the south side of Hampton. It's not the most glamorous place for a sidewalk, but it's a lot cheaper than doing a pedestrian bridge that we'll wait a lot longer for. And then the other one is a connection on the south side of Oxford and the redo of the bus stop there on the south side of Oxford across from River Point. So they'll have both sidewalks have access to the train station after these projects done. So more to come soon. I think construction will start hopefully next year. And then moving on to GIS on the last 2 pages. Just some quick updates, kind of office related as well. So with DOLA, we have the opportunity to get a $45,000 grant that we're applying for to help integrate our GIS and on-base systems, which is our document management system for like the city's applications and portal for all of everything building and application related. So integrating those systems will help make it faster for applications for housing to move forward. And that's kind of like the angle that the state is having us take with this application so that we can get funding for that program. And then the 3 images you have on your page there, Ari did some great work and got a vendor for historical imagery. And then he sent that off to our GIS consultant to compile into a layered map where you can go basically back in time through Sheridan history and look at all the aerial images through time to the 1940s. Right? 37. Quite interesting, like looking at places like River Point or where the racetrack was to see, you know, changes over time, and then places like Fort Logan that haven't changed very much at all. So that was great. And then the second one is points of interest. So we have a historical map of Sheridan on our website, and then Roger, former Mayor Roger Rowland, requested that we add the text from the little plaques and all the historical markers to the website. So that's on there now. People can access that. And then the third image is some work I was doing for the planning or the Public Works Department. All of the lane striping on all of the streets and any kind of sidewalk markings, so that is all mapped in GIS now. So if they have to do a bid for any kind of repair work on those, or, you know, just to keep them fresh over time, they have all that information. That's all I've got for now.
All right, and I'll just wrap us up with 2 updates. So the first one I wanted to talk about, the Flying Saucer RV Park redevelopment. So we are getting very close to having everything approved for that development. We are working with them on their final major subdivision plat. So we have that scheduled right now to go to Planning Commission on September 2nd, and then City Council for final hearing and vote on October 12th. So those dates are coming up here. Along with the October 12th date at City Council, there's also going to be a subdivision improvement agreement. So that's where we'll kind of outline the different tracks that the city is going to take ownership of along Bear Creek the Bryant Street right of way, and then an extension of Tract O into the property. So more to come on those, but it's coming up here very quickly in September and then October. And it's my understanding, I think their plan reviews for all of their 7 new buildings are pretty much complete. So at this point, once we wrap up those last land use items on the current planning side, we should be very close to issuing permits for the project. And then how that relates back to the developer that owns it. So once they have all of those approvals and permits in hand, they will likely close on the property. And then that's when the ownership transition will take place. So right now it's looking like they have final move outs for folks that are down using the RV component scheduled for September 13th. So roughly around mid-September is when we would potentially see the park, kind of clear out, no more RVs on the property, with anticipation of that closing coming up end of September or into October. So that is Flying Saucer. And then just a quick overview on our sustainability efforts. Got a lot of great work going on there with Mel and Aiden. We have a new building electrification specialist who's been hired and will start on August 24th. So this is another job shared position with Inglewood. They'll be kind of between Mel and Aiden in terms of time spent in Sheridan. So not as much as Mel, but a little bit more than Aiden, just based on the funding. This is just us and Inglewood partnering on this position, so no Littleton on this one. So they are going to start here at the end of August. Gentleman, I was part of the interview committee. I think he's really well qualified. He's coming from Pitkin County. He did a lot of really great work up there, up in Aspen, some work on the airport. So we're excited to have him. And then also we are doing a lot with our Sustainable Business Partnership. We have 10 Sheridan businesses in the program. And what I really like to point out here is both Inglewood and Littleton have way more businesses in the program, but we have some really engaged businesses. So we have 2 gold businesses in the program. They're the only 2 in the Tri-Cities. We have 4 silver and we have 2 bronze. So just in terms of engagement, we have a smaller number of businesses, but they're very engaged in the program. Aiden's done a lot of work with them. And then 2 that I wanted to give a shout out to, Aiden's worked with Lucky Bikes, which is down on South Federal. They've been able to obtain a $150,000 grant, which is really exciting. And then Fourth Dimension Wraps and Graphics, Aiden has worked with them and Colorado Circular Communities to apply for a $365,000 grant. That would be a really exciting recycling program for release liners, which are basically the backings of all of the vinyl stickers, basically, that they do the wraps for. So a lot going on with sustainability right now. And yeah, that's kind of it for our update. We're happy to answer questions about those projects or anything else that you've been thinking of related to planning or community development.
But as you guys can see, I mean, they're busy with a lot of things in community. This is a great report to hang on to. We can put hard copies in your mailbox if you'd like. Have this, because this is a really nice thing to be able to glance at and say, oh yeah, we're working on this, we're working on that, these kind of things like that. So yeah, you can either, refer back to it in your electronic copy, or we can put hard copy if you would like in your mailbox as well. Or just let us know.
Yeah, I just heard about the Fourth Dimension wrap thing just the other day. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
The recycling thing, I always think it's really neat too. I shared it at our office team meeting. It's a unique program.
It's kind of a weird.
But you wouldn't
you
think
know,
of, right?
I didn't think of the backing that they pull off to put the sticker on the car. They've, and it's in Montana, is the plant in Wyoming?
In Michigan.
Michigan, Wyoming?
Yeah, so they're trying to coordinate right now. They're trying to coordinate a bigger amount that they can ship off to Michigan. So I think the next goal is like a rail car
Wow.
full. So that's the quantity. They started with mailing little samples of it to see if because they test it and see how it works. And then I think it was like a bigger batch, and now we're up to a rail car. So
Friday when I was over there, I'm talking about my shark that I want to put on my car. They were sending off a batch, a larger batch on Friday afternoon. Yeah. This is really cool. Yeah.
Eden's done a lot of great work with them. Brought in a lot of.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions, Matt? You have time to use the restroom?
That's what I was gonna say, we can.
Well,
we can-
call this adjourned.
Yep.
We'll move upstairs.
And join. Miss Andrea, can you give us another introduction?
Yes, of course. Was anyone talking before because we weren't hearing anything?
I don't know if mics were on, but we're good to go now.
Oh, excellent. Then good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language justice today, and we're going to have simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish. I would like to remind our English speakers that Spanish is 20 to 25% longer than English. It will take me that much longer to interpret everything to the other language. So even though you won't see me actively, please try to speak at a conversational pace and one person at a time so that I'm able to interpret everything accurately. Hola a todos, soy Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a practicar la justicia del lenguaje el día de hoy. Tendremos interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español. Ustedes, si están viendo la grabación en este momento, si ustedes están viendo esto en YouTube en este momento, la grabación en español va a ser publicada algunos días en el futuro. Thank you, and we can start interpretation now.
Thank you. And with that, good evening. I'll go ahead and call this evening meeting for August 10th, 2026, regular meeting of the Sheridan City Council to order at what time is it? 19:07. Mine says 13:14. So, and I will need to
Do we need to make?
do that again. Wait a
You'll
minute.
go ahead and mark yourself present, and then we'll move next to the motion to excuse Councilmember Lopez.
Is everyone present?
Tired.
Just waiting on one. Councilmember Clark, can you go ahead and mark yourself present?
Christoph, will you mark yourself present?
Sign in on your thing and
Right. You have a quorum, Madam Mayor, and the next item you have is for the excuse of Councilmember Clark or Councilmember Lopez from tonight's meeting.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Anthony Lopez from tonight's meeting. Oh,
I do have a motion from, well, now who do I have the motion from? Because he spoke up first.
just go with whoever clicked.
So I have a motion from, the, Mayor Pro Tem Michael Moreno, and a second from Ernie Camacho to excuse Anthony, Councilmember Anthony Lopez, from this evening's meeting. We can go ahead and vote. Oh, I'm very slow.
Councilmember Clark, can you please place your vote?
That passes with a majority of 6. And next we will have Councilmember Whitaker, if you will you please lead us off with the invocation and then right into the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Father in heaven, we ask your wisdom as we begin this meeting. We acknowledge that we need your wisdom and insights, and we need your presence among us. Guide us in our discussions and decisions, helping us seek what is best for all involved. We trust in your perfect wisdom and ask that you direct our meeting according to your will. In James 1:5, it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to them." We claim this promise as we start our meeting and trust in your provision. Thank you for being with us always. Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all.
Amen to that. Next, we have approval of the agenda. City Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up is the audit presentation and approval.
Good evening, council. Tonight we have Eric Miller with the Adams Group to present the city's audit, and I'm just going to let him take it away.
Thanks, Teresa, and I've been kind of getting kicked out, kicked back in. So if I get kicked out and you don't see me or hear from me, that's probably why, and I'll get back in as quickly as I can. I was here probably 2-3 weeks ago related to the Sheridan Redevelopment Authority. Kind of same situation as 2-3 weeks ago, related to everything right now is in draft format. I expect to have everything completed here over the course of the next probably 10 days. We're going through our final review process right now, and then kind of get everything with that final stamp put on it and get everything issued and out the door. Nothing is going to change from what you have in front of you or within your packet in terms of numbers or what you see. At this point, it's just a process of getting T's crossed and I's dotted in terms of getting the report out the door. So with that, it will be for fiscal year ended December 31st, 2025, unmodified or clean opinion, which same as last year. Again, goes to the work that you as council do, what Teresa does. I do think it's always important to note the housing authority, which is included within the city's financial statements. We do not perform the audit over the housing authority. That is performed by another CPA firm, and you will see within the final opinion, we outline that we did not or do not audit the housing authority. We send a letter to the other CPA firm and basically have them represent to us that the numbers that they provide are materially accurate, and we are more or less relying on their audited financial statements in providing our opinion over the city. So I do think that's important to point out. You'll see those numbers, but we rely on the other CPA firm when it comes to the housing authority numbers. No difficulties, no disagreements with management. In terms of any corrected misstatements, we didn't have anything that significant to report back out. No significant audit findings that you'll see in the report. Really anything that was there was just reclassifications of balances related to items from the initial trial balance that we received to what you're going to see in front of you. but nothing in terms of audit entries, just simple reclassification entries. I'm assuming Teresa has kind of kept everybody up to speed with kind of how the operations or financials have been going throughout the course of the fiscal year. So I'm not going to get into too much detail in terms of the numbers and the balances. So with that, I think I will open it up to any comments, questions that council has.
No questions? Thank you, Eric. You didn't cut out not one time.
Perfect.
I do have a motion from Councilwoman Stang and a second from Councilmember Whitaker. Again, are there any questions? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes with a majority of 6. Next, we have staff reports. We'll start with you, City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a reminder, if you're interested in attending the DRCOG award ceremony, let me know. This is kind of last call because it's before our next council meeting. So yes, let me know on that. And then as you might see that we now have one of our Sheridan police officers doing security for us for the city council meeting. So we are piloting a new program to use our police officers to provide security for our city council and for our courts. And that is all that I have to report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Next, we have a city attorney.
Yes, it's nice to see everybody again this evening.
Nice to see you.
And I wanted to say I thought the budget presentation in particular downstairs was helpful. It's something that I think I will have future law clerks watch, the one that you all did earlier this evening. Just a good way for people to learn, the public, council, and everybody. So obviously Teresa did a great job, but I thought it was a really informative process. It was a little more detailed than some of the others I see, so I enjoyed that. Otherwise, just plugging along with work from my office.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The clerk asked me to pick out a few highlights from my manager's report, which you have in front of me, so that she has something to put in the minutes and it doesn't look too boring. So I'm going to try and come up with something that's not terribly boring and some highlights out of here, but it might be a challenge. It's kind of boring. Let's see. We are acquiring the Umatilla property. As council is aware, for those in the audience, the Umatilla property, when we talk about it, is the property that's next door to the old firehouse in the Bottoms neighborhood. You might recognize it. It has a Quonset hut on it right now. And so we're going to be acquiring that and using that property for additional space needs that the city has. We're ongoing with that acquisition and on time to make a close on that on September 14th. We recently had an annual goal setting session with the council, and I wanted to thank the council and the staff for their efforts when we did that last week. As council is aware, we will use that goal setting process as part of the prioritization when we look at our annual budget process and bring those items to council, which we began tonight with our revenue projections. Of some interest, maybe people, we're been working with the South Suburban Parks and Rec District on the Citizen Stakeholder Bond Committee that they're putting together. And to that end, I've forwarded that information out to some of our stakeholders in the community and some of our community groups with that. So hopefully we'll have some representation from Sheridan on that committee. And when that committee begins a meeting to consider a potential bond measure next year for South Suburban. I attended the National Night Out, and I wanted to give a shout out to our police admin coordinator, Valerie Garcia, for all the hard work she did in coordinating that event, as well as to the chief and all the police department for all their efforts in doing community outreach and helping put these events together. Very much appreciated. And then lastly, I approved a $500 donation to the Friends of the Poor Walk, which will directly assist residents from Bonsai Flats, our city housing, affordable housing development over there. And so that might be an opportunity. I included the website address there in my report if you want to find out a little bit more, but my understanding is that they have the Friends of the Poor have already worked with Bonsai and done some direct support for folks over in that area. So this is another way to show them a little bit more support as well, and hopefully assist them in their efforts to raise funds for those folks. Mayor, that's all I was going to highlight here, but I'm happy to answer any other questions on anything on my report.
And for
Or
those,
not on my report, so.
for those of you that are not able to see what we have, that is FOPWALK, FOPWALK.org. If you'd like to go ahead and also donate. Chief?
Just one thing, I just wanted to let you know that last week, the Denver Tech Center Optimus Club, they had their annual ceremony, and this year we nominated and sent up Officer Sean Ralph, and that was for an incident that he had earlier this year where he came across a person that was hearing impaired. Their bicycle was stolen, and it was previously donated to them by a VA. But Officer Ralph took it upon himself to go to Target and buy this person a new bike. And if it wasn't for one of the officers spotting him walking the bike through, he would have never known. So he's the one that we selected, and he was honored last week. So
Thank you.
thank
And
you.
just also a shout out for a successful National Night Out. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for being there.
Next we have the minutes. I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno and a second from Councilwoman Skang to approve the minutes for the regular city council meeting of July 27, 2026. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, we can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes with a unanimous vote of 6. Next, we have the consent agenda, including approval of disbursements from July 16th, 2026 to July 31st, 2026 in the amount of $680,110.70. I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno and a second from Councilmember Whitaker. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes by a majority of 6 as well. Next up is the public hearing for 3600 South Federal Boulevard rezoning. And I don't have my thing. Darn it. It's hiding somewhere. I would like to call this public hearing to order at the time of 1923 or 723 for you non-military folks. My name is Sally Daigle, and I am the mayor of the city of Sheridan, and I will be presiding over this hearing. Tonight, we will be reviewing an application to rezone property located at 3600 South Federal Boulevard from the Business-1 and Commercial Com-C district to the Public P district. Prior to commencing this evening's proceedings, are there any disclosures or recusals that need to be stated for this hearing? Hearing none, is the applicant or a representative of the applicant present? Please come to the microphone and identify yourself and your business name and address for the record. If you are represented by legal counsel, please have your legal counsel also identify themselves for the record.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Ana Claudia Magalhães. I'm the planning supervisor representing South Suburban. We are located in County Line, Littleton, Colorado, and I do not have legal counsel representing us today. And I also have my director, Melissa, as well present in the audience.
She can come and go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Melissa Reese Thacker. I'm the Director of Planning, Design, and Construction for South Suburban Parks and Recreation District. We're located at 4810 East County Line Road in unincorporated Douglas County.
Thank you. You may be seated. The purpose of this hearing is for the City Council to receive information data, and testimony for the city council to make findings and reach a conclusion to approve or deny this rezoning application. The hearing procedure we will use as guidance, but not be strictly governed by, is the Colorado Rules of Civil Procedure. All interested parties will be allowed to speak. On this matter, we will first hear from the planner to Ari Snow, followed by a presentation from the applicant. The council may ask questions of staff and the applicant following their respective presentations. We will then hear public comments, followed by any response of the applicant. City's presentation. At this time, I will enter the following exhibits into the record. Exhibit A, the application for rezoning. Exhibit B, letter of authorization. Exhibit C, narrative letter. Exhibit D, a conceptual site development plan. Exhibit E, Planning and Zoning Commission minutes. Exhibit F, Planning and Zoning Commission Resolution number 4-2026. Exhibit G, the site photo provided by staff. Exhibit H, affidavit of publication. Exhibit I, affidavit of posting and picture. Is the city ready to begin?
We are. Good
Please-
evening.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Very exciting opportunity to be here to present the staff report for 3600 South Federal, formerly known as the Carroll's Corner Pub property. After tonight, we are retiring the name. So my name is Ari Snow. I am your planner too, and I am here to talk to you about this rezoning. So I'm going to just kind of walk us through the staff report and answer any questions. So the subject property is comprised of 2 parcels located in the East Federal neighborhood, and it's at the southeast corner of Federal Boulevard and US 285. It's currently zoned Business 1 and Commercial. Each parcel has its own zoning. And in January of 2024, the city of Sheridan, us, purchased that property as a part of the purchase agreement with the Mile High Flood District, who put up funds for this project. No structures outside of small ancillary park structures are permitted. I've been working for the city since May of 2020, and in my first 2 years here, there were 10 development proposals for this property, and not a single one could pencil it out. So it's very interesting to be here today with you. May of this year, a pre-application meeting was held with city staff and external agencies. A neighborhood meeting for the project was held on July 1st, and the formal rezoning was filed the same day with the city. I'll next go over the zoning and land use for the property. As stated, the current zoning is Business 1 and Com C, and the applicant has requested rezoning the property to the public district. Historically, the property was used as a bar, restaurant, I heard liquor store once. The 2 properties have never been legally subdivided and will go through an administrative minor subdivision process in the future before any construction begins. On page 2 of the staff report, sorry, Andrea, you can see the little map. And so that map shows adjacent zoning and land use. So I'm just going to go through it. North, CDOT right-of-way, there's no zoning there. To the south is the ridge line at River Run Mobile Home Park, which has zoning of Business 1 and the Manufactured Home Park Overlay District. To the east is recreational vehicle storage, which is the Com C district. And to the west is a drive-through restaurant, zoned Com C, and some single-family homes, zoned residential single-family. Section 56-583 outlines the procedure for any zoning or rezoning. And I'll now go over some standards for zoning and rezoning. 56-586 goes over the specific procedure, and each application must accomplish 2 things. First, the proposed zoning must promote the health, safety, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city and the purposes of this article. Staff believes that it does by increasing access to outdoor recreation, active transportation, improved public safety through enhanced visibility of the site by users, defined pedestrian and vehicular circulation, reducing conflicts among trail users, and replacing a vacant property prone to illegal dumping with a well-maintained public space. Second, at least one additional factor must be met, and staff believes that the proposed zoning is consistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan. And I will now read all of the goals that I found in our comprehensive plan. So get ready. All right. CROSC1, and for the abbreviation means culture, recreation, and open space. Improve community quality of life, health, attractiveness, and identity by providing recreational opportunities through the creation and maintenance of a sustainable system of interconnected parks, trails, and recreational facilities. CROSC 2.1, preserve the natural habitat around the South Platte River and Bear Creek for sustainability, recreation, and educational purposes. CROSC 2.1.1, maintain enforcement of floodplain regulations limiting development near such waterways. CROSC 2.2.2, continue to work with outside agencies to improve water quality in Bear Creek and the South Platte River. CLU 2.3, land use and community design. Ensure the development of housing is closely coordinated with the planning of transit stops, recreational amenities, and community services in order to promote a more accessible and walkable city. CLU 3.2, make better use of land in the floodplain. CLU 3.2.1, add to the existing trail network that runs along waterways in the community. NEF1, Neighborhood East Federal. Capitalize on existing amenities in and surrounding the neighborhood, such as the Broken T Golf Course, Mary Carter Greenway, and Bear Creek Trail, to rejuvenate the South Clay Corridor and provide more open space opportunities for residents and business owners east of Federal Boulevard. As with all land use applications, this project was referred to internal departments and external agencies, and they are all listed there. And as you can see, no one holds objection to the rezoning. Section 56-582 outlines the public notification for each rezoning. As I mentioned, the neighborhood meeting was conducted on July 1st, 2026. There were no members of the public in attendance, and staff waited approximately 20 minutes after the designated start time for, someone strolling in a little late. We understand. We kind of attribute this to significant neighborhood feedback being gathered earlier in the planning process at a neighborhood Tequiza event, which occurred in September of 2025. Feedback generally showed support for this project. Section 56-584 outlines the public notification process for each planning commission meeting, and 56-585 for city council. All the notices and affidavits are attached to the staff report. We've received no letters of support or opposition to date. During the planning commission meeting on July 15th, planning commission unanimously voted to approve resolution 4/2026, which provides a favorable recommendation of rezoning to the city council. With all of that, and based off of the observations above, staff recommends that city council approve the rezoning request from business 1 and commercial to public zoning for property located at 3600 South Federal. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are they making it a park? What? Or are they gonna build on there?
I'll go ahead and I'll re-ask the question. We have a gentleman in the audience that is wanting to know if they're making it into a park.
The intention is to develop a park trailhead on the property.
Does anyone have any questions? I actually do have a question.
Sure.
Does it have a proposed name?
It does not. I think we're gonna come back to you guys for that one. We're just trying to get through the boring stuff so that we can do the fun stuff.
Right. Right. Okay. Good to know. Anyone else? Any comments from anyone? Thank you, Ari. Next, we have the applicant's presentation, testimony and exhibits. Now we will hear from the applicant.
Hello.
Please again, state your name for us.
Ana Claudia Magalhães with South Suburban. I am their planning supervisor representing the district tonight. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
So I had the opportunity to present to City Council in the beginning of this year. We were at concept design level at that time. What I'm presenting today is a refresher. Hopefully, you guys are still as excited as we are for this project. Next slide. The Bear Creek Trailhead final site plan presented today. It is the same adopted site plan by South Suburban Board of Directors. I want to quick highlight few key elements of the concept design, the final site plan that you see today. This project entails the reconstruction of the vehicular pedestrian bridge, the realignment of the trail to provide a better coexistence with pedestrians and cyclists. This site improvement also highlights a new trailhead amenities for the site with a small park amenities. The community engagement throughout this project was so incredible. We feel like that this site plan does represent a lot of the feedback received by the community and is represented here in design. We also want to highlight the ongoing coordination that we have with external agencies, with CDOT to improving that trailhead parking lot and access. And I also want to highlight the incredible work that we did together with city staff, bringing this design to what you see today. It was an incredible project and an incredible process, and we can't wait to build it. Next slide, please. This image over here is a refresher of the design intent. This is looking from the trailhead into the park, small park amenities. The intent of this illustrative here is to really bring together one of the things that we heard the most from the community, how they wanted to make this space a gathering space for the community, a oasis for the trail commuters and trail users, and really bring this site to life and bring a space that has so much potential to bring as a community amenity for Sheridan residents. Next slide, please. This is another rendering representing the intent of the design, looking a little bit more into what the small park spaces will be. A lot of the design elements here do reflect a lot of the community feedback that we received throughout the project and ongoing coordination with city staff and our maintenance considerations for the site as well. Next slide. This is one fun aspect of the design right now that we are working through. I hope you guys remember one comment we received from the early presentation this year. This is how you guys were very interested in collaborating with us in signage for the park. I want to highlight that our South Suburban monument sign is a typical sign that we have in all our facilities, and it will be present here on the site as well, name to be determined. Next slide. We also very excited to study a little bit further the integration of wayfinding of this area over here, unifying with the Bear Creek Trail wayfinding package that we have collaborated in the past. So we're looking for making this site here also speak to the wayfind signage. Is something that was very important for this city of Sheridan. Next opportunity is you guys mentioned to South Suburban as a comment that you love to place a monument welcome to Sheridan here, and we are so excited to collaborate with you all. We are early stages of this design idea. The following slides is just character images that we often find to ask questions. There is a lot of types of monument signs, and we're just curious to see what you guys would like to see here. Those are just examples of typical classic style monument signs. They're very symmetrical. They typically have whatever name that you want it to be in the center and has some landscaping and lighting. So it's a good example of a classic sign. The next one is a more modern version of a monument sign that can say, "Welcome to Sheridan" here. We do have a placement for this potential sign in the site already. So we're just trying to narrow down what it is, the style that the city council would like to see here. Those signs, no matter of the theme of classic, modern, or the third one, next slide, is more a nature base. Whatever theme that city council is excited to see here, they will be integrated with the site as far as scale. Placement is already being studied within the site design, and other elements like integrating with the other typology of signs already planned for this site. The key here to understand is just what's your preference, what you like to see as far as themes for this site, so we can study a little bit further and coordinate on the details on that. We're excited to collaborate with City of Sheridan on this design element of the sign, and we're curious to hear what's your preference. Next slide. I also want to give a little glimpse of our anticipated budget for this project. We are still working through the final budget. We are working alongside with city staff to identify potential grant applications for this project. And we just anticipating that's going to be a greater investment here. Also give you perspective that we are doing a full bridge replacement for this project, which is a significant investment on the budget, the tentative budget presented here. Next slide. And with that, I'll welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does council have any questions for the applicant at this time? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have public comment. Before we begin with our public comment on this application, we need to make the audience aware of the rules for commenting this evening. They are: all speakers must register to speak this evening on the sign-in sheet. All speakers must be physically present in the council chambers to provide their comments. Online comments via Zoom will not be allowed. Each speaker will be limited to no more than 2 minutes at the podium. Speakers may not yield their time to another speaker. If someone wishes to provide their comments in Spanish, they will do so continuously for up to 2 minutes. And then Andrea, our interpreter, will play the recording back for everyone to hear in English. As a reminder to the audience, the intent of public comment is for the public to provide statements to City Council to consider in making their decision. It is not to discuss their comments with the mayor and council members or to ask questions of the City Council. However, the City Council may ask speakers clarifying questions if something is unclear. Are there any public that would like to speak to this? Our first, we don't have any, or yes or no?
Well, it was about the site, but it's not.
For this?
No.
Okay, that's fine. If it's not for this, that's fine. Since we have no public comment, is there anything else? I can go ahead and close the hearing. Okay. And with that, we will go ahead and close this public hearing. Is there any further evidence or testimony to be presented? Public hearing is now closed. We need a motion regarding the Oh, stop. I do need to state the time. Yes, thanks. It is 17:44 or 7:44 p.m. August 10th, 2026. Motion, the hearing has been closed. Related items, we have ordinance 11-2026. an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, rezoning certain property located at 3600 South Federal Boulevard from the business and commercial districts to the public district. I have a motion from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Councilmember Camacho. Are there any discussion, any questions? We can go ahead and cast our votes.
Madam
Madam
Mayor,
Mayor.
if you'll read the next one underneath there to open up discussion and to discuss this and provide testimony on this.
Ah,
Not provide testimony, but provide information on the rezoning.
now that the public hearing has been ended and a motion has been made and seconded, we can move forward with discussion or request clarification from staff or city attorney. Remember, no new evidence or testimony will be allowed at this point. Each council member will have an opportunity to share their perspective.
Madam Mayor, if I may I make one quick statement?
Sure.
It's been a while since we've had a quasi judicial hearing, so just remember your training on pages 104 and 105 of your all's packet. Staff did a great job of laying out your municipal code and some of the things. So remember, you can point to that if you'd like to say you agree, you can elaborate, but just a good refresher. Thank you.
Thanks. Anything else?
No, Mayor, nothing else from me. Just time for y'all to deliberate.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you to staff for putting the presentation together. It was really well planned and presented to us very well. It was also nice being a participant in the Tequiza event where the different planning stages were involved. I got to see different aspects of it, and I think that was important to know kind of what the community's vision is for this project.
Councilman Camacho, you have anything? Councilman Whitaker? Go ahead.
I like this. I think it's a much better use of the property. And I think it's much needed. So it's a great idea, and I think it should be rezoned.
Councilmember Clark? Nothing? Councilwoman Stang, do you have anything? Almost close. Nope. And I too am very grateful that this is coming to fruition. It has been a long time coming, that is for sure. This was talked about years ago when I was on the Platte River redevelopment project, when we were talking about connecting trailheads and what have you. So years and years ago, even the wayfinding signs were all included and what have you. So it's really kind of neat. I just, as a longtime citizen of Sheridan, Carol's Pub was, the gentleman that owned and ran the pub was the coach for Sheridan High School. And so just keep that in the back of your mind when it comes time to start thinking about names, because he was quite the coach and quite a successful coach. So, and very well loved in the city. And that's all I have. Is there any other discussions?
Madam Mayor, excuse me, if anybody wants to make a statement, if they agreed with the staff's finding that it complies with the municipal code or the comprehensive plan or a specific part they liked, that would be a good time to do that before we close it, please.
Are you suggesting that we do so?
I would recommend that you perhaps do that.
I am very grateful that not only were it checks all of the boxes, but that Ari even read them to us to remind us. And I think that it is a really good use of land, and that it aligns perfectly with our municipal code. Are
Thank
you
you.
happy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to make a comment? I'm going to go ahead and restate the motion. Let's see, I have to find it again. Let's see, we have a motion from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Councilmember Camacho to approve ordinance 11-2026, which is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, rezoning certain property located at 3600 South Federal Boulevard from the business and commercial districts to the public district. We can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes with a majority of 6. Next, we have ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 12-2026 is an ordinance creating a new chapter 67 of the Sheridan Municipal Code concerning industrial pretreatment of wastewater. Are there any questions on ordinance 12-2026? I have a motion from Councilmember Stang and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno. Again, any questions? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes.
Is there any public comment for this?
Is there any public comment for this?
Do you have any members of the audience for this?
Where does the wastewater go? It doesn't go with the water treatment plant.
Can you come to the podium and ask your question? We'll make it official. And-
Okay.
Oh, you have to stay.
Ernest Alvarado I live in the city of Sheridan. And I was just wondering the wastewater, because I've worked with the city of Inglewood. And I know they have the wastewater treatment plant there by the South Platte River. Is that what we're talking about, the waste? The
I'm gonna field the
wastewater?
question to Devin, I think.
Sure, and to answer your question, Mr. Alvarado, yes, the wastewater for the city of Sheridan does go to that wastewater treatment plant in Inglewood. It's just a little bit downstream there. That's where our wastewater goes for treatment.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I used to have a, what do you call that for your water, wastewater? They put the hole in the ground,
Septic?
septic tank. And now with the city of Sheridan's help, I was able to connect with the city sewer line.
Oh, nice.
So that's why I was a little bit in the dark there. Alrighty, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from audience? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes.
Are we back to voting on the property at 3600?
No, the
Ordinance
ordinance
11.
12-2026. Oh, you know what? It does say that at the top. He's right.
My apologies. Okay, I have it now switched.
Okay. Now we can go ahead and cast our vote. Which passes at a majority of 6. And next we have ordinances on first reading. Ordinance 13-2026 is an ordinance referring to city voters a 0.50% increase in the city sales and use tax for public safety purposes. I have a motion from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno. Are there any questions on this motion? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our vote. That passes unanimously as well with 6. Next, we have Resolution 23-2026. I will be recusing myself from Resolution 23-2026 and handing over it to my Mayor Pro Tem Moreno because of a conflict of interest arising from my services as both mayor and a member of the school board. So I'm stepping out.
All right, we have resolution 2026, which is a resolution of the City Council of Sheridan, Colorado, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Sheridan and Sheridan School District 2. I have a motion by Councilwoman Stang and a second from Councilmember Whitaker. Do we have any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. That passes unanimously with one abstention.
Okay, okay. Okay. Just for council's information, that in our voting software, it shows up as an abstention, but in the record, it will show up as a recusal. And there is a difference from that. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
And just for the public, that was for a school resource officer with the Sheridan School District 2. So.
Ernie, you can tell the mayor. What does she know? Mayor, you can come back in. She can hear us. Oh. All right, well, we'll wait a minute.
The mayor chooses to go to the restroom. Yeah. Okay. Next we have Mayor's Choice. Your mayor's been very, very busy. I have, this last week I went to the National Night Out and I really appreciated all the really fun stuff that was at National Night Out. I got to talk to a lot of the business folks that were here and I was really happy to see Target here. I also made connections with fourth dimensional wraps. And I personally am very excited because I've been wanting to make that connection for some time to put a shark on my broken vehicle. So kudos for that. That was fun. And then I also got to go to the Inglewood Chamber of Commerce and made some connections there. And that was very enlightening. We do have there is an award ceremony that I think is coming up for the Commerce. And we have 5 businesses that are up for awards. And I think that that would be really kind of neat for us to be able to go and to show up to that. I don't have that information or I would give that information. So that might be someone, checking with them because I think it would be really cool for us to go and support them. Because they're a huge part of our community. Let's see. Friday evening, went with a few of my friends that have been, instrumental in the community for years and years and years. We loaded up my van and went to the Western Welcome Week and actually did get to see a full drone show without getting wet, and a really cool band, Petty Nicks, and got to speak with the mayor from Littleton there, and he was just really excited that we showed up to support them. So that was fun. The other thing that I would like to do at this time is to recognize that we have a gentleman in our midst that has sorry, worked extremely hard in this community, helping veterans and working for veterans. And he has worked his way up through the ranks of the VFW to commander, but has now, Todd Van Zandt, our very own, is the Colorado State Commander. And if you guys would please join me to welcome him to the podium, just to say something, because we really do appreciate you. So I will yield mine few minutes that I have left to you, because we are so very proud of you, sir. And then after that, we're going to sing Jay happy birthday.
Excellent. Thank you. I won't take much time. First off, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. Thank you to the chief and to the mayor. They came to our convention just a few weeks ago here in the city of Sheridan. We had a couple hundred veterans and their families in the Sheridan High School, and they got to listen to our mayor and our chief of police speak about our city, and they presented very well. And it was a great event. So secondly, thank you guys for allowing us to use your school. I want to wish you guys or invite you guys. It's tradition when you are elected state commander to have a homecoming. The homecoming is a chance for you to come back home into your post and celebrate the achievement of the work put into this. This is a 4-year commitment. Where I'm at now. I'm on my 4th year of this commitment. So if you guys could mark your calendars, Saturday, September 19th, this is a invitation for the mayor, the council, the staff. Please feel free to come to my homecoming at VFW Post 9644 in your city. This is going to bring together VFW leadership from across the state, veterans, community leaders, my friends, and my invited guests. Since this is my home, I want to invite you all to please come. It's a free event. I'm paying for everything. It's very expensive. So please come. I've got a chef who's going to make some really good a taco bar with pork and chicken and all kinds of food. So please do come. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's it. I just wanted to make sure I invited you guys all to that event. So please do come. And again, thank you guys for allowing me the chance to speak here in front of you guys. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
September 19th, Saturday.
Thank you. We're very proud of you. And then next week, if you guys would join me in singing happy birthday to Jay. His birthday was Saturday. He's an 8/8 baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jay. Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Thank you.
And with that, I will yield my time as mayor's choice, and it is now left up to council members' choice.
So I had something briefly. I also went to National Night Out. It was great to get out of work in time and get to go and see it. And I walked the dog over there. It was great to see all the families and kids, and it was just a really great vibe all together. I'm really glad that we do that. On Saturday morning, I went by the Homeless Navigation Center, and it's coming along great. All the plants are growing in. There was Early in the morning, there were some people just sitting outside reading, and I'm just so glad that
Right.
years ago, the city got involved in that, and Devin and Mayor Biter Fleur. And, it was such a long project, an expensive project that is really serving the community. And it was just neat to see how clean it looked.
Nice.
Such a good picture to share.
Ernie, you have anything? Councilman McClough? Anything? Councilwoman Stang? Mayor Pro Tem?
Good.
Oh, you guys, killing me. Next, we will now proceed to the public comment portion of the agenda. City Clerk, are there any individuals registered to speak? I do believe that there are.
There are.
Um,
First
uh,
individual we had was Todd Van Sant. Okay, I'll call him back.
I will go ahead and remind everyone that each person will be permitted to speak for a period of time not to exceed 2 minutes, and a person's time may not be shared with any other person. Public comment shall not exceed 20 minutes. Members of the public may provide comments on any topic not listed on the agenda. Comments are to be provided in person at the podium. Individuals be invited for public comment according to the order on the sign-up sheet. When your name is called, proceed to the podium, introduce yourself, and state your address for the record, please.
Madam Mayor, Todd Van Sant, 3550 West Dill, Sheridan resident. You guys allowed me to come to the podium twice, and I will take full advantage. The only thing I do have is the Post does have a pig roast coming up Saturday, August 22nd. Everybody's invited. It's $15 at the door, and we have something like a 200 and some odd pound pig that we are roasting all night before this thing. It's open to everybody. It's all you can eat pig. And there'll be other stuff and alcohol and stuff like that. So please do come support your VFW Post. It's open to the public. Everybody's invited. Bring your $15. We'll have raffles and 50-50 drawings and all kinds of fun stuff the entire day, so it should be a heck of a lot of fun. That's all I have. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Next on the list.
We have Dr. Thompson.
Good evening, Dr. Thompson.
Good evening. Madam Mayor, distinguished members of City Council, my name is Gianni Thompson. 4150 South Hazel Court is where I work as Superintendent of Sheridan School District. First off, I want to invite you all to our back to school night barbecue, which is on August 13th, this Thursday. And it is open to all members of the community, not just those who have children. So if I may approach the dais real quick to pass these out.
Sure.
And I also want to say that 4 months ago, I came here before you to tell you about a movement to consolidate Sheridan School District. And that was a very emotional day. And I'm here today to say that has not gone away. I think we're very aware of the current circumstances of facing Sheridan and Sheridan School District as well. I do want to say that in my 4 months here, I have watched the growth in Sheridan. I've watched City Council engage with Arapahoe County. I've watched City Council engage with the police department, the school district. We are such a strong, cohesive group at this point that a lot of individuals will see that brings change, and people do not want to see change. The individuals that are disrupting and dismantling the great work we have going here aren't even from Sheridan. And I encourage Sheridan and all of its residents to do the best they can to make sure that Sheridan remains Sheridan. There are not many small towns within the city, there's many small towns within the state in an urban setting that have that strong, cohesive bond where it is generational upon generational individuals that support this small town. And I'm telling you, I'm not a resident, but I can tell you it is something special and it should never go away. And I encourage you to spread the word that this is Sheridan and it will remain Sheridan forever. It started in 1890 and it will remain for 90s beyond here. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Next, we have Ernest Alvarado.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say I've been in Sheridan for over almost 20 years now, and I've I've gone to school in Inglewood High School, so I'm from Inglewood and know Sheridan pretty much. In 2020, they put sidewalks in, which I really didn't approve of. I didn't like that. I'm Ernest Alvarado. I live on 3440 South Canosa Court. And they put in a sidewalk. I was out there when they were pouring the cement. And I talked to a lot of people, didn't like him. I don't like him. Randy Morning. I asked him to give me a driveway. He refused to do it. He says there was a letter sent out for $160 to turn it into a driveway. Well, he refused to do it. I was standing there when they poured the cement. They didn't do it. I lost the bumper guard of my truck over the curb on my driveway. I have to turn very cautiously with my my car because it'll bump once it goes up that curve. Let's see, Jeremiah, since February. It's been 7 months that I've been paging him, asking him. I've gone to the room next door and asked for somebody to help me with the curb cut. He told me he'd get back with me. That was 7 months ago. I need a curb cut. I need something a driveway. I was there already 18 years when they put this in. I asked nicely, pleasantly asked, please give me a driveway. I don't want that curb. Like I said, I've got pictures. I've lost a bumper guard on my truck over this curb that they refused to give me a driveway. And I was there a long time, since 2006. And I still don't have a curb. My truck lost its front of the end of the bumper thing, so I don't know who else to go to. They gave me a sign here as of January 22nd, 2021. No parking signs will be put up, which is, in my opinion, a lie. It says due to increased traffic violations. Well, I've been there 18 years. I have not seen that many traffic violations on my street, Canosa Court, and they still put in no parking signs. My grandson got a ticket there parking to see his grandma on me, and he got a ticket. So I took it in and fought it. I said, this is crazy. I can't park in front of my house. They put in sidewalks. I seen people going down the street in wheelchairs because the sidewalk's too narrow for anybody in a wheelchair to go down the sidewalk. The sidewalks are narrow, but the problem was I have that curb that they didn't give me a driveway. The people at the end of the block got a driveway and they were there 3 months. I've been there 18 years and Randy refused to give me a driveway. So like I said, I lost the bumper to my truck, the front guard. My car is a Malibu. I have to go very cautiously at an angle, and I've been doing this for years now and been asking for a curb cut. Or I'm retired now. I have 35 years with the Pulse Health. I was retired in 2024. So we're on fixed income, and I don't know how much it's going to cost me to get this done. Jeremiah said he would look for a bid and get back to me. That was 7 months ago. And I've already, Devin knows me. I've talked to Den. We've had our differences before. And I'm just glad Randy Morning's not there no more. He didn't really work good with the community. A lot of people didn't like him. I'm just saying, from experience that I asked him, I was standing there when they poured the sand, says, please give me a driveway. That curb is too high. And it never happened. I'm trying to get some kind of results about this curb cut, if that's what they call it, to get me a driveway put in so I don't do any more damage to my vehicles. And that's all I've been asking for since February or January. I've talked to Jeremiah and he's never gotten back with me. I've left messages on his phone. I've talked to several other people. I know a lot of people with the city.
We'll make sure
Arnold
that
Park-
someone gets back to you.
Yeah, Jenna, I talked to Reagan, I talked to Amy,
Mayor, if I might,
me.
Yep.
if I might, Mr. Alvarado, I'll make sure that we get back to you.
I really wish I'd appreciate it,
We understand your frustration.
Yeah,
and
that
thank you.
bumper
We want to thank you
guard
for your
it's
comment
gonna
and bringing it to our
cost me a
attention.
lot to get that fixed, and then I wish they hadn't done it. I asked them nicely to please give me a driveway and they didn't do it. when I got my house, I had the septic tank, so, you know.
It's been a long time, so
Yes.
we
it-
appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I got
Thank you.
that done, put in and everything, and we've always had, everybody in the neighborhood says I have a nice yard. Me and my wife both work on it, and it's hard
Lucky
now
you.
that the weather was so hot. But on those cool days last week, we were able to get out there and get the yard cleaned up, and so we've never had a problem with the city of Sheridan
Okay,
about keeping our yard clean and stuff, but
all right.
I hope somebody gets back with me
We
on
will.
this.
We'll make
Okay,
sure of it.
I'll say it again, Ernest Alvarado and Julie Alvarado at 3440 South Canosa Court, Sheridan.
Thank you. Thank you for being
Graduated from
here.
Inglewood High, 6 years in the Navy.
Boo Pirates.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Go
I remember
Rams.
Flood. I remember the school song from Flood Junior High too.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for your comment.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
Thank you for being here, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Is there any other? With that,
I was thinking about that, putting a sign on that corner because it looks so ugly and it always gets potholes. The light you turn to go into Sheridan, it turns into Hampton Avenue. There's a side street there at the light. Across the street, you get it River Point.
oh, Kenyon. Yes, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
That
Yes,
corner, it's so
I've brought that
ugly.
up. Yep.
wish
I know
they would-
exactly where you're
Sheridan
talking.
would look real nice if they put a
Yep.
sign there. That way, when you're turning from Hampton onto
Yep.
that drive and then it turns into Hampton Avenue, it would be nice to have that something really pretty fixed there, you know? It's been like that for a long, long,
I
long
know.
time, but it would be nice to see that get fixed. That would be nice. That way,
I agree.
yeah. You
Thanks.
turn in there, you see Sheridan, and it looks so pretty. And Sheridan
Thank you.
is Sheridan.
And if we have no other, with that, we are adjourned.